I would like to use this topic of warts from the lecture of Dr. Subrata Banerjea to show you a few things about RadarOpus. First, let me remind you that with the synthesis up, you will have always with you the repertoire. You can browse, look up, and word search for anything. You can even take symptoms in the clipboard. So even when you're at the patient's bedside, you can just take some symptoms, do an analysis, and you can send them to your own email address. So when you come home, you can even continue to work with that same case. So here I'm in RadarOpus, and let me first show you if there is a document about warts in general. So I do here warts, and yes, there is a repertoire, Drake repertoire in warts on condylomata. Then if I click here on references and I type wart, yes, there is a document, Kamtan, remedies for pain and warts. Okay, let me remove this so I have the full table of contents, and let me close here these documents. So this is of course only documents where in the title the word wart or condylomata here is present. So now in the repertoire, of course, you can look up rubrics where you know they are located. So I'm here at skin warts. Now, if you want to look them up, you start to type on the keyboard the first characters of the chapter, then the rubric, or in the left upper corner, you can click here and then you type here on skin, and you type warts and enter, and you are there. So you also see here there's a cross-reference, excrescensus condylomata. But if you're not sure where rubrics are located, you can do a word search. So let's do a word search through the repertoire. At the top I can click here on the search, or on the keyboard I can do question mark, and now I'm in the simple search. I type here wart or warts, doesn't matter, it will search both, and enter. And I see here an overview of 183 rubrics with the word warts. Now it could be interesting to do an analysis of which remedies run most strongly through these rubrics. Now to do that, you can take these into a clipboard. Now to select them all on Windows, I say Ctrl A, or on Mac I do Command A. I have them all selected. I just drag it here to clipboard number 1. And they are all taken into the clipboard. Now to make this more interesting, let's also search on condylomata. Now if I want to keep here this search result, so my first search on warts, I click here on add a new search. So I have here my previous search result, and here I can do a new search. So I search here for condylomata, enter, enter. And it found here 98 rubrics with condylomata. If I also want to take these, I just do on Windows Ctrl A and on Mac Command A to select them all, and then I take them and let me place them in a separate clipboard. If I place them in two clipboards, I can differentiate them. I can repertorize only on clipboard 1 or only on clipboard 2 or both. Now if I click here at the top on analysis, I get the result of both clipboards. If I click here on 1, this is the result of only the warts, and this is the result of only condylomata. Now you see already here that Tuya and Nitram acidum run quite strong through both. And let me just keep these in mind and do a remedy search on them later on. Now if I go back here to my search, I still have both these search tabs open. And if I click here on this icon, I can get a graphical representation of my search. So here in blue, I see the results of warts, in orange of condylomata, and if I move to the right, you will see these remedies are only mentioned in one of them. So these are only present in rubrics with warts, and these are only present in a few rubrics of condylomata. Okay, let me close this graph and let's move on to the next topic. Until now I did a search through the repertory only, but you can also search through the whole library. So let me concentrate here on the word wart. Now I click here all documents, and then the unique thing of RadarOpus is that it searches through the complete library and all repertories and all other reference documents. So here at the left you see in one overview all the repertories where the word wart is present and how often. There are concepts, materia medica, there are keynotes, journals, therapeutics. It's just a huge list. And let me show you something interesting. So here are other therapies, philosophy, and proceedings, and here clinical cases. So these are documents which especially are a compilation of cases. Of course, in the other documents or in journals you can also find interesting cases. Now let me just point out one document. I type here at the top Morrison, and let me go here to therapeutics, Morrison desktop companion. Here I see the search result, and I see that there is a chapter about warts. So I double click, and then I really open this document. So you see here I'm now in desktop companion of Roger Morrison, and I'm here at warts. Now he starts with pointing out all the interesting rubrics, and then if you go down there are differentiations between the key remedies of warts. So let me close this, and let me close a few other documents. I'm here back in the repertory, and let's say I want to compare these two remedies, so Thuja and Nitricum acem. So let's say I want to do a repertory search. So for this I go to my advanced search. So here in the top toolbar I click here advanced search, and in the box of remedies I type my remedy. So first I type Thuja, and if I just press enter, it immediately does a repertory extraction, a repertory search, and I got here all rubrics where Thuja is present, and I have here 9,995. If I add here the remedy Nitricum acem, and I do enter and again enter, I now do a search for all rubrics where both are present. So you see I have now only 3,664. Now of course I did a search through the whole repertory, but it's also possible to do it through a small section or two or three smaller sections of the repertory. Now these are all rubrics where both are present. So you see here Nitricum acem is here a 3 and Thuja is here a 2, and there are 425 other remedies. Now I can do here, for example, also a comparison with common and exclusive. So if I do that, I will get 3 lists. One list which they have in common, and one list of the rubrics which they have individually. This is the top with the rubrics where they have both Thuja and Nitricum acem. These are the rubrics where only Thuja is present and not Nitricum acem, and here the opposite. So, okay, I think this was almost it. So, I would like to end by pointing out that the patient-found RadarOpus is a very powerful feature. You can not only do a search through your text and search all consultations. So here I have a patient, and if I have several consultations of this patient, I can do a word search in which consultation did I mention, for example, the word warts. Or I can do a more general search, and if I search then through all my patients, I can search for example, through the symptoms, and I can say which patients have I used a certain rubric. So I now just did a click and have an overview of all my rubrics. But it's possible to do a specific search and say, which patients have I used the repertory symptom, for example, jealousy? Okay, this was it.